Hello everyone, excuse me, I'm very sick. But I wanted to show you this book, Occult Theocracy by Lady Queenborough Edith Starr Miller. And in this book, you can open it up and it shows that she lists names of different people, and she talks about the International Bible students. But look, 3 dots indicate a Freemason of a date subsequent to 1717. Then you go in the back and you'll see Charles Taze Russell, and next to his name are 3 dots, as you can see there, showing he is a Freemason.
Hello everyone, I found something pretty amazing today. I was reading this article which had absolutely nothing to do with Jehovah's Witnesses, but it had to do with Freemasonry and why is the 33rd degrees associated with Freemasonry. So in this article, this man says he's an astrologer and he was convinced that it was a celestial reference, for we measure positions of the planets and stars in degrees, minutes, and seconds. He then goes on to explain how they do all this. But then he says, if you plot 3 degrees of Taurus on the great wheel of 360 degrees, starting with 0 degrees Aries, 3 Taurus equals 33rd degrees. This was the answer I was looking for. Alcyon is the brightest star in the Pleiadian cluster, and thus Alcyon is 33 degrees, the number of mastery. And then he goes on to say, further, I discovered that by using etymology, when the word master is divided into 2, it becomes master, and it means mother star. Thus, Alcyon is the number of the mother star, 33 degrees. Now, remember Charles Taze Russell said that Alcyon was where Jehovah lived? Okay, it gets better than this, though. Then he goes on to say that Professor Charles Piazzi Smith in the late 19th century suggested that the 7 chambers of the Great Pyramid of Giza commemorate these 7 stars. And this is what Charles Piazzi Smith said, quote, and here is a wonderful corresponding fact, that the date of the Great Pyramid's completion at midnight of the autumnal equinox, the Pleiades were distributed over the meridian of this pyramid, with Alcyon precisely on the line.
And as some of you know, that is exactly the quote that Russell used in his books, the exact one. Now, it's interesting that this astrologer is trying to prove 33 degrees of Freemasonry, and he's using these quotes, but these are also the exact quotes that Russell used.
And hold on, there's more. He goes on to say, some, however, believe that they have found the direction of it to be the Pleiades, and particularly Alcyon. To the distinguished astronomer, Professor J.H. Madler, belongs the honor of having made this discovery. Okay, this is Professor Madler's discovery. Alcyon, then, as far as science can perceive, would seem to be the midnight throne in which the whole system of gravitation has a central seat, and from which the Almighty governs his universe.
So as we see, that's another quote that Charles Taze Russell used in his book. It's interesting, this man using the exact 2 quotes to prove in Freemasonry where 33 degrees is in the sky, and the exact 2 quotes that Russell also picked out to put in his book. Here is Russell straight from his book.
Alcyon, then, as far as science has been able to perceive, would seem to be the midnight throne in which the whole system of gravitation has its central seat, and from which the Almighty governs his universe. And here is the wonderful corresponding fact, that at the date of the Great Pyramid's building, at midnight of the autumnal equinox, and hence the true beginning of the year still preserved in the traditions of many nations, the Pleiades were distributed over the meridian of this pyramid, with Alcyon precisely on the line.
Isn't that amazing? That article had nothing to do with Jehovah's Witnesses, yet it brought out 2 quotes that Russell himself quoted word for word. So 33 degrees in astrology is the star Alcyon, and as the man goes on in the article to prove that it is tied in with Satan the devil, yet Russell said it was where Jehovah lived. Coincidence? But there's another thing tying Russell with Freemasonry. I actually made this video because a few weeks ago I saw a video by some ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and they had mentioned that it had been debunked that Charles Taze Russell was a Freemason, and I just couldn't believe it, because no one, except for the one who cannot be named, he's the only one I know who's made videos trying to prove that they're not Freemasons. But I know there's some out there who swear they're not, but there's so much proof that Charles Taze Russell was a Freemason. It's insane. There's tons of proof. I mean, for instance, the International Bible students being able to meet in the same Masonic halls. I don't believe they would let them just go. They don't just let anybody meet in their halls. Like at this address in Detroit. Now today there's this building here where a church gathers, but it wasn't always this building. They sold it to these people. Before this, it was a Masonic temple called the Order of the Eastern Star. This is, you can see there, the Eastern Star Temple. That was taken in 1980. This is the front of the building. And then if you look at the side view, you can see something interesting. Look at that picture there, that glass. That's the symbol. Looks like the devil there, but that's the Order of the Eastern Star. Now, look at the building from 1920. There it is, in the International Bible Students Association Convention Report. It even says the Order of the Eastern Star Temple. It gives the address in Detroit. You can see the International Bible Students Association right underneath the Eastern Star Temple sign. And they met there too with that stained glass, looking like the devil there. But yeah, see, I don't believe that they would just let anybody meet in their halls. I just don't see them doing that. But that's another piece of evidence that's pretty amazing. Did Jehovah really use the International Bible Students Association in connection with the Masonic Order of the Eastern Star to bring us biblical truth? I mean, think about that. 33-degree Masons, they believe in Satan is their God. They are Satan worshippers. And Jehovah's Witnesses met in a Satan worshipper's hall. Just think about that. That is insane.